Hello there, welcome to my YouTube channel and welcome to the Data Engineering 101 series. My name is Abi, and in this series we will talk about data engineering. This first video will be a general overview on data engineering. So first of all, what is data engineering? Data engineering is the development, implementation, and maintenance of systems that process in raw data and they produce in the end high quality data. This high quality data will be used to support downstream use cases such as machine learning, deep learning, and data analysis. So first, let's define what is raw data. Raw data is defined as data that needs to be clean in order to be able to perform reliable analysis on it or to get, in the end, some good business decisions on it. You can make good decisions based on this analysis you made. But if data is raw, you cannot do that. It will be clean, it will be messy. You cannot make good decisions on such data. Data is typically raw when it has missing values, when there are formatting issues. For example, let's say you request data from an OpenMeteor weather API. This API returns to you weather data for a specific location. Let's say we got data for Vancouver. Typically, the API will return the data in UTC time, which is called, by the way, Universal Time Coordinated or Coordinated Universal Time. You need it to be in Pacific time. So you will design code, scripts that will convert the data into Pacific time. You can, in Python, there is the datetime library, and that can achieve this. Okay. Now, data can have spelling mistakes. You need to design scripts that can fix this. Another example could be different naming styles. Imagine that you were collecting data for a company X on employees. And let's say that your data analysis requires that one of the columns has a location column that states the location of the employee. Now, let's say that when you collected such raw data, some of the rows, its location column had NJ for meaning New Jersey. They use abbreviations. You notice that some of the rows that, instead of using abbreviation, they use just New Jersey. Now, if we assume that such data were be given to a data analysis in the state that it's in, when you query the such data, for example, select L, which is going to be the column name, from a table name, and you query it so that it returns all the rows where the location value is set to be New Jersey, well, because some of the rows location value is NJ, its abbreviation, those rows won't be returned. Only the rows with location value of exactly New Jersey. And this is because computers inherently do not understand abbreviations, right? They're not humans. They can't just simply figure things out. So you as a data engineer has to make sure beforehand that such conflicts don't occur. You could fix this by maybe talking to a data analysis beforehand in a meeting, discussing them, okay, this is the schema that you want. Okay, in the location value, do you want abbreviations or no abbreviations? And you have these discussions to make sure you avoid such problems. Now let's talk about source systems, the places where you can get raw data from. As a data engineer, you will need to understand source systems, how they work in depth. The source system can include IoT devices, Internet of Things. They're basically devices that are connected to the internet and are able to send data, like smartwatches or smart thermostats. Then we have, of course, our APIs, like the OpenMeteor API. You can request data from APIs, and then they'll be not in the format that you want it to, but you will have to change such formats to get the data that you need. Then we have databases, SQL databases and NoSQL databases. Sometimes your source system could be SQL databases, but your data analysis wants data to be in document format because they don't like the strict schema that has with SQL databases, right? They want some flexibility. And so your job might be to convert table format to document format and store it into a NoSQL database. For example, data warehouses contain NoSQL databases. And finally, we talk about the ETL pipeline. Once raw data is collected, we ingest it to a storage system and we want to transform it, fix errors, standardize the format, and load it to a target place. I mean, this could be a data warehouse. This could be another database. It's a storage area where your internal clients, like your data analysis and scientists, can go in there and retrieve that information. And this is called the ETL pipeline. In our next video, we'll go more in depth into the data engineering lifecycle. We'll talk about the cloud, why that's so important in data engineering, and some more. Thank you for watching my first video, and I hope I'll see you next time.